Ray Coleman to move this amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm delighted to move the amendment in my name, which members will find on the papers. It's very simple. So for those members of the council who haven't read the full cabinet report, and I fear there may be some in the chamber, my amendment is very simple and straightforward. Mr. Mayor, the leader said that the people of this borough and the country are crushed by taxation. How right he is. So why, therefore, are there no proposals to reduce the level of council tax in this borough? And sadly, Mr. Mayor, not only are there no proposals to reduce the level of council tax this year, the Deputy Leader has been gallantly telling the local press there are no proposals to reduce it next year either, because he's promised a 2-year freeze. Real Tories cut tax, Mr. Mayor. And it's quite easy to do. Now, if I had an endless team of officers supporting, I must thank the officers under Mr. Naylor for the support they have given me in this budget, then I could have dismembered this budget and removed the references to one Barnet and the supposed savings. But I suspect that that version of the budget is already in officers' bottom drawers to be produced in case things go wrong with one Barnet. Mr. Mayor, because if the savings are delivered, I'll happily buy any member of this council dinner. Mr. Mayor, I come up with some simple savings. And the first one, and I can see the interim chief executive sitting there, is to delete the post of chief executive. Now, is this wild, radical and unusual? Mr. Mayor, I have a list. Kent, Leicester, Barnsley, Wigan, Reading, Hastings, Rugby, the Isle of Wight, amongst other councils who deleted the post of chief executive, or in our case, interim chief executive. I think Mr. Travers is obviously the Raphael Benitez of Barnet local government. Mr. Mayor, indeed, in Hastings, the Conservative opposition attacked the Labour Council for deleting chief executive post and said it was an unacceptable power grab by the Leader of the Council. Are you tempted, Mr. Leader, to take an unacceptable power? Sadly, Mr. Mayor, this council is borrowed to the limit, and its residents are taxed to the limit. My other saving, very simple, 75,000, Mr. Mayor, is to scrap Barnet first, a publication with about as much credibility as the Henderson Times, frankly. And I'm sure I see other groups have decided to cut its frequency. Just scrap the thing. It furnishes many a recycling bin across the borough here, Mr. Mayor. And then also in my proposed budget, I was giving notice to the LGA and London councils. Mr. Mayor, this council pays £1,000 a day. Never mind 50 million a day to the European Union. We pay £1,000 every working day to these organisations to lecture us on what we should or shouldn't do in the case of London councils. Mr. Mayor, I am hoping that my amendment will get support. Now, some may criticise rising parking charges. Let's just say about parking charges. If you do not increase all fees and charges by the rate of inflation each year, just as the Cabinet are proposing on the rents, then you will have to up them in one almighty lump once the election is out of the way. That is the way it works. That is the way it works. It's never a good time. So it's much easier to pay all fees and charges to the rate of inflation, and there's a small inflation than to come in once every 4 years, having been re-elected and bump it up by 10, 15 or 20%. So why does the administration decide to up council rents, quite likely by 2.5% the rate of inflation, but won't be the same on fees and charges? And frankly, as for the Labour amendment, if I had a spare £3 million, £3 million, I would not be spending it on parking meters and other parking measures. I've been restoring the youth service, Mr. Mayor. I've been restoring the services to those most in need in our community. So, Mr. Mayor, I recommend my very straightforward, simple, conservative tax-cutting amendment to this council.
Non-cap prayers.
Mr. Mayor, you took earlier a vote on declarations of interest.